Have you ever thought about what's like moments in your life that, you know, the younger generation are going to ask about, being like, oh, you were there to experience
9/11.
this?
They're gonna
You
ask.
weren't there.
I was available.
Do you think they're going to ask us about like the fucking lockdown COVID thing?
Oh, 100%.
Fuck.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because did you ask your fucking granddad about Spanish flu in 1930? No, you didn't fucking care. It was a footnote in history.
Yeah, but he wasn't in fucking Spain at that time.
No, Spanish flu went everywhere.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't. I feel like, I don't know. I wasn't there during the Spanish
I feel
flu,
like
so I can't say,
if anything, you would ask. I could have been wrong about that. I feel like you would ask about the most prevalent history that happened at that time, which might not have happened yet for us.
Might not.
Which is a scary thought.
I reckon they'll ask us about like the beginning of the internet.
Yeah, I think that actually, that would be cool to
like,
talk about.
have you ever
I'll
had
just make shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, being like, Dad, it's like, Granddad, can you tell us about this MSN thing you speak of?
They want
Like,
no MSN.
This Skype thing you speak of?
What?
was that?
Like outside of 9/11, have you ever had a moment
right out of context.
outside of 9/11, have you ever had a moment where you were just like, damn, I'm like living through history right now? Because you know when you have some moments when you're like, damn, whatever I'm witnessing now, this is like a historical moment. This, because I just imagine what it was like just being at home and being like our grandparents' age and just witnessing like the first moon landing or something.
Oh,
like
that would have been so cool.
Just imagine that feeling, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, damn, do we have a moment like that in our lives where we have like a shared collective, yo, this is history being made?
I don't know, man. Just, I guess we gotta wait for Elon to land on Mars first. Like, I feel that'll be pretty big whenever it happens.
I think they'll look back at this time.
Yeah.
I think we'll have lived through a time people are going to talk about.
Yeah. I definitely think the beginning of the internet is going to be one thing, wherever it is in the next 50 to 100
Are
years.
people going to be like, Mom, Dad, what was ChatGPT like when it first dropped? What was that like?
Tell me the time you first met Grok.
How did the internet reply?
It's like, how did you do anything without the internet? What are these books you speak of?
No, I think books will be popular.
Oh, yeah.
I think books will be more popular.
Books are
Yeah.
going to make a comeback if it hasn't
They
already.
already have.
Not that it ever fell off, but like, you know.
Wow, books kind of
Yeah,
work.
books kind of fell off. Guys.
Reading?
Let's talk
Low-key?
about it.
Reading kind of fell off. No, I think people are going to ask about the pandemic. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
Well,
don't know.
I think a lot of people, especially which kind of sphere you're talking about, but you're talking about like the Anglo Western world, you know, you kind of talk it via like the president or the prime minister at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that won't change. And I think there's certainly a lot of stuff to talk about
Yeah.
that has happened in this current era. There's a lot that's happened. I feel like there's a lot to talk about.
I mean, I feel like this modern era has just, it feels like you can't just split it between post-COVID and pre-COVID. Maybe like indirectly, but just the whole vibe of the world has just changed indefinitely.
I think that's because we lived through it. But because even now, I think people are like they don't talk about it anymore.
They don't talk about it, but you can feel the effects. I mean, entire fucking industries, I feel like, have been made and have become a permanent mainstay of our lives because of COVID.
And the entire generation of kids as well, that went through that has changed.
I think a lot of that will be oral history that happens later on, where people who are older can talk about more of the totality of their life, and they can probably say, "Hey, look, like when I lived through this thing, this thing changed everything." But on history paper, I wonder if it will reflect, because we often have a time, like a thing that we do in history where we like to boil things down into like if you do World War II, for example, you kind of look at the world through the lens of World War II, and then you pick where it like kind of starts and where it kind of ends, and you kind of look at everything as it correlates to that thing, as opposed to like this thing changed everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think we're quite bad at like wanting to talk about history as a total thing because it's so long and messy.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to break it down into
totally.
segments.
Like,
and I wonder if we will. I do wonder. I'd like to think we would, but I don't have a lot of hope.
how different do you think the world would be if COVID never happened and we just had another year of just whatever, you know?
I think COVID accelerated a lot of things.
Do you think it accelerated it or?
Yeah, I think it accelerated a lot of things.
Like you think, okay, for example, you know, I think shit like Uber Eats or something, which is like now a mainstay in a lot of people's lives and just like, you know, take away. Yeah. Do you think, obviously COVID accelerated that, but do you think it would have gotten as big into the lives of as many people without it?
I think so.
I think so.
Same thing with like you know, obviously my industry, anime, you know, that got supercharged by COVID, where we've gotten to the point where I would argue that anime is mainstream now. Would it have gotten that way if COVID didn't happen? Was it always destined?
I think it would have happened eventually, but COVID just accelerated all of that. Yeah.
2-3 years of COVID
Yeah.
accelerated internet adoption and entertainment from the internet.
Yeah.
I think
And reliance
maybe
on
by
the
like
internet.
10, 15 years. I think it sped it up massively
Yeah.
because obviously, I'm sure you all remember, like TV shows they were still coming out, but as we got into the first year, slowed down a lot. TV shows weren't being made as much, movies weren't being made as much. People massively adopted live streaming, TikTok, YouTube, and went way deeper into that rabbit hole. And so I think that sped it up by like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, for
And as
sure.
somebody who's making content at that time, I mean, I noticed from all the growth and stuff that we had, obviously Trash Taste came at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was massive. It was crazy. It was like views that should have never have been there.
Yeah.
Started happening and people getting really into anime and getting really into Japan and all this stuff. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
you know, would not have happened otherwise.
Well, because it's interesting because I think about that because I think one of the biggest generations that was affected was like the younger generation, right?
Yeah.
Because as adults, we already have certain patterns and certain behaviors that we have learned from all the years that we were living. But I would argue that a lot of these newer industries that have cropped up, like, you know, live streamings, like anime and stuff, is a lot of the bigger numbers that we have seen are numbers that were adopted by, you know, the younger generation that have now become like an inbuilt pattern of just their daily life, and they're going to grow up, and now it's just going to become more and more popular because they already have that pattern of behavior in them as like a form of entertainment. And it makes me wonder, if COVID didn't happen, would it have ever gotten as big? Because we were forced to be inside and use social media and kind of like adopt platforms like TikTok and other alternative routes for entertainment.
I think it would have happened, but I think the growth would have just been more gradual.
Right.
You know, like as Connor said, like I think COVID, those 3 years that for a lot of people are now just a blur because most of the time we were just inside consuming content. I think that just sped up the dependence of the internet, not just in entertainment and you know, relieving boredom, but also just like a way to communicate with other people, right? And now you have a lot of the younger generation, especially those who are in, you know, elementary school all the way to high school or even college, who went through that, you know, phase of being very isolated socially.
Yeah.
Who are now coming out of COVID and being like, fuck, how do we do this without COVID or the internet? Like, how did we do this before COVID again? And so they're struggling through that now. And it's really like, I don't know. I look at that and I feel I feel a lot of pity for that, because I'm just like, oh man, like that just really fucked up an entire generation, I feel.
I wouldn't say fucked up. I would say it
complicated matters.
No, I mean, it was a big part of a lot of people's lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think especially those in like the most formative years, that, you know, it sucks that they will never get those years back.
Exactly.
And, you know, I've heard some stories where people actually enjoyed the COVID years. I think we view it as a, you know, comparing it to our years in those like formative teenage years. But damn, hearing some stories, like hearing some people who said that their school experience was just being on Zoom calls and they would just play video games.
Yeah, I'm not going to fucking learn anything as a kid if I have my laptop in front of me.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. But also, that sounds fucking great. That would be some... That would be some nice memories of me just being in a Zoom call,
because you would eventually learn the things and you would get them done because that's who you are.
Yeah.
Like you know that you still need to learn these things and you'll do it.
Yeah.
And I think for kids like that, whatever, it probably didn't affect them much. But I guess kids that probably really needed that in-person support.
Yeah, they needed that social aspect.
Yeah,
of it
I'm
all.
sure it probably set them back quite a lot.
Yeah.
And not everyone is fortunate where they just kind of get school and things are easy and things make sense.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it goes. Very unfortunate, really.
Yeah. And it's insane that we've seen this much effect from like basically like 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
I definitely noticed that people are like way more considerate of like, I suppose, like germs as a concept now than they were before, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Japan, I feel like a little extreme sometimes. Like
I mean, Japan was already
Japan
extreme.
was always like that.
And I feel like it took it to like another level a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's fine because, you know, it is what it is. But I do hate everything needs to be like quadruple wrapped in plastic still.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like I had a bento and it came in a plastic box, and in the plastic wrapper came chopsticks in plastic. And so I'm like, get my bento, open the plastic. All right, get this plastic, and then get the chopsticks out of that plastic. And then in the oshibori is another plastic thing.
Yeah.
And by the end of this like standard lunch box, I had amassed a massive pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Like a standard little lunch box.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the I was like, whatever happened to the old fucking Ziploc? The old fucking classic, the little pop it off and get a spoon.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But, you know, that's like such a minor complaint and really has no impact. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because like, it'll be like when you know, when you share a drink with someone, you're like, you want to try my beer? And I'll be like, don't worry, I touched this side. Not that it matters. or when we, you know, you grab food out of the center.
Yeah.
And sometimes in Japan, they give you utensils specifically for
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
it. And I'll just be like, I'll let you know, I don't give a fuck. You can use your fork. You know,
Yeah.
I don't, whatever, man. We can make out. It'll be fine.
But that's when we're familiar with each other. When you're like with a new party, you're like,
Oh yeah, then you can't do it. Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah.
to be fair, that whole thing is more of a cultural norm. in
Yeah,
Japan
for sure,
that
for sure.
existed before COVID. But yeah, it was definitely amplified further
Yeah.
after COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, that was maybe a bad example, to be fair. But yeah, I did. Yeah,
I got what you mean, though. Yeah.
yeah.
definitely feels like there is a lot more
Yeah.
consideration.
I'm like, damn, where's our moon landing? we
We don't
get
get no fucking moon landing.
we're getting a shutdown, man. We get lockdown, and they get a fucking moon landing and all this shit. Could have found, you know what's weird? Just like I don't know if we mentioned this before, but it's just like we had news not even recently, but like a while ago, where we could have found aliens on Mars.
Oh, the
Remember
life
this?
on Mars
The
thing?
life on
Yeah,
Mars
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Oh, you
The
mean
microbial?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. There was
ones?
some
Yeah.
signs of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think that should have been bigger news? Or is it because it wasn't like 100% confirmed?
Oh, it's
No, I
because
think-
it wasn't
no,
like
it was-
fucking
it was
ET
confirmed.
gray alien shit.
I mean,
That's
it was confirmed there's life. It's just not the life that we really give a fuck about.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
if it was a fucking alien colony doing alien shit,
Yeah.
we'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
There might
Like-
have been a couple of people who, again, went through the COVID thing, looked at that and went like, oh, great, now we got Mars COVID to worry about. Fuck.
It's just microbes. It's like that's, you know, they're 20 million years behind us on evolution. So it's
Yeah.
like not really, you know, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't
I
think it's going to make waves
It
until
is
it's
cool
like...
if you like science. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think it's fucking
I thought it was
massive.
cool.
It's massive.
I thought it was cool.
It is massive. But to the everyday person who, you know, we're in a political system where as well, we can't even fucking think more than 4 years ahead or
Yeah.
5 years ahead, you know, like you can't ask people to fucking care about something that
Yeah.
doesn't
No,
affect them
I'm-
for 50 years.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because it makes me wonder, what is there an event that we would actually care about? Because I'm just like, if we got to a point where asteroid hits Earth, we have like
We
a
care
month
about that.
or something, would we care about that? Or would the average people, you know,
Let me tell you what would happen.
Yeah.
They would try and find out immediately, where is it hitting? And because you will know where it's going to hit.
no. Let me tell you what will happen.
Okay.
Because here's what I'm fucking convinced about, where, you know, you can have the most earth-shattering news of all time, and people will still care that it's a Tuesday and they need to go to work. You
Yeah.
know, if there was an asteroid that was 100% coming towards Earth, people would look for. I mean, there would be news sources being like, "Nah, might not be."
Well, they always
Might
talk
not be.
about them as they're
Fake
getting...
news.
Yeah.
They always talk about them as they're getting close, but sometimes even like big ones that are projected to hit and do some big damage
Yeah.
just happen to burn up.
Yeah.
So no one really cares.
We don't even hear about it.
No.
But did you like sometimes you see like a
feel like
news
we should
story?
know, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you hear a news story and you're like, yeah, this asteroid that could have, you know, wiped out all life on Earth just narrowly missed, and you hear that like 2 weeks after the
To
fact.
be fair, if we can't do anything about it,
Yeah.
is it really worth bringing up? like seriously, like is it worth mass stressing like 8 billion people because something might happen
Yeah.
that we literally can't stop or do
Yeah.
anything about?
Yeah.
Like if it was an asteroid that would destroy Earth
Yeah.
and entirely, like wipe out life.
Like what?
Should I really like maybe
Okay.
what?
Okay.
Maybe
What?
I don't really want to know. I don't want to know.